I'm Alberto Forchielli from Mandarin Capital Partners, but I'm really small potatoes here because I have the honor to interview Dr. Lee from Innovation Works. Dr. Lee is a very charismatic and driving personality in the Chinese high-tech world. And it's a really great opportunity for all of us to be able to exchange ideas with him. And the first question I have for Dr. Lee is, what does Innovation Works do? Because Innovation Works is something very important worldwide, and I think we all need to know about it.
Thank you, Roberto. Innovation Works is an early stage venture capital fund that has a different approach to doing early stage investing. We typically get into companies when they're very small, maybe 2 or 3 people, and we would make the seed investments. And because our team has 45 people with expertise in the TMT space, internet technology space, also with expertise in human resources, legal, and marketing and technology and user interface design. So we're a team of experts as well as venture capitalists that immerse the early stage startup companies, give them all the help they need and accelerate their progress, reduce their likelihood of failure, and get them to Series A, which in most cases we would lead again, and we would also have enough capital to do follow-on investments beyond A. So this is a unique way to do investing because most VCs start at Series A or B. We start earlier, and that allows us to take a somewhat larger chunk of the company at a lower cost. Of course, critical to being successful with this approach is we have to have a pretty high hit rate because if a lot of our early stage seed investments fail, don't get to Series A, then the approach doesn't pay off. But fortunately, because of our unique expertise in the early stage, of the 50 investments we've made, so far only 3 have closed down in the last 3.5 years. So our hit rate has been fairly good.
I would say the hit rate has been incredibly good because the average hit rate is around 10%. I do have a second crucial question for Dr. Lee that revolves around the future of China mobile technology. There is a great attention worldwide about where is it going? What's going to happen to Android in China or to Apple in China? What is the future shape of your social network? So there's So please, Dr. Lee, what is the investment environment in this high-tech world, mobile world?
The mobile world is probably the most exciting of all the early stage investment areas in China, and that has been the primary focus of Innovation Works. As of the end of this year, there will be about 500 million Android and iPhone devices installed in China, and that is way larger than any other country, and that provides great opportunities for software developers and even software-hardware combination developers to build great products that will address this market because of the unique user expectations, habit, language, cultural issues, and also regulatory environment, and also the fact that Google is not actively driving Android in China. They're supplying it only as a open source code base. So that allows Chinese companies to really party all over Android and build their own app stores, payment approaches, synchronization, maps, and video solutions. And all the places where Google has dominated through development of Android, those places are open. So China, compared to the rest of the world in mobility, is much bigger, partly because the footprint, the size, 500 million units, and partly because the fact that Google isn't playing in China, so all that Google has taken is available for people to pick up. So the investment space has been phenomenal, and almost all of our investments have been in mobile space. Social network is also very exciting. It's really changing China. People are doing what's called Weibo and WeChat, developed by Sina and Tencent respectively, very successfully. One is like a Twitter, one's like a Facebook, but both very mobile. and it's taken China by storm. It's the place where people go to for news, for sharing, for making friends. However, in terms of investing, those two platforms are very strong. So it's very hard to build a third big platform. So the investment opportunities would be either in building on top of those platforms applications, or building niche platforms for smaller niche social networks. And we certainly also invest in that area as well.
What are your two pearls in your portfolio? What are the two things you're mostly in love with?
Well, I love all of our companies, but I think in general, the areas that are doing very well are in a few categories. One is in tools and productivity area. So, and taking advantage of the fact that Google decided not to enter China fully with its Android services. So we've made a series of investments in there. So we've kind of built the essentially the Google Play or iTunes-like product called Wandojia. It also has iCloud kind of Dropbox kind of synchronization. So that's an example. Another one is Yumeng, which is a little bit like AdMob or advertising services. And we built a number of, and also we also have built funded a company called Dianxin, which has a security layer and very successful. That company now has entered an M&A process, and we're basically exiting, but successfully on that investment. So that's kind of the Android productivity underlying services area, taking advantage of Google's absence, predicting that back in 2009. Another set of applications we've supported are in games. So we have several companies that now have one called Doodle that has 300 million downloads for its games. We have 2 or 3 others that are quite profitable, making 10 million or more per year. And a third area that we've invested in is the social networks. We've invested in a leading question answering community called Zhihu in China, and also a really brand new shooting star out of the gate is called Papa, P-A-P-A. And they've acquired 10 million users in just about 3 or 4 months. And what it is basically a social network for sharing photos and voice. So you take a picture and you talk about it, and other people leave you voice messages. It's been phenomenally successful, and typically when I post a message on Papa, I get about 10 times more response than I do on Weibo or Weixin. And I have much fewer fans on Papa than I would on Weibo. So this is, I think this is a style of interaction. Chinese people love to talk, so adding voice to photos seems to have hit a real user need.
Dr. Li, what chances do I have as a non-Mandarin speaker to access any of your applications?
You have some chances. Doodle games are released on a worldwide basis, so you can find it on Google Play. Wandojia has a US version just released called SnapP. They've picked a different name for English, but it's in earlier stages and not as fully rich yet as the Chinese product. So you can look for SnapP on various Chinese stores, such as Google Play. And lastly, Papa is being released in the English language with an English name Wave, W-A-V-E. So you can try almost any of the products I mentioned. They're going outside China now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto.
Thank you.